Good morning, everybody. I assume it's morning wherever you are for some reason, but yeah. So I'm M. Joshua Cauller, and we're looking at this War of Mine. We at GameChurch are really privileged to be given an early beta copy of this game, just to share with you and really just try to bring awareness of what kind of game this is. As you can see very quickly, it's not it sort of has a very similar war tone to other things, but the expressionist art style and hand-drawn tone kind of gives a little bit of a different impression. So as you can see, I tend to ramble, I apologize. We have one option here, and that one option alone is to survive. It's going to take us straight into the game, and you're going to find very quickly this is not your typical Call of Duty Battlefield wannabe. 11-Bit Studios, you may have heard of these guys before. They're known for the Anomaly series, for Anomaly 1 and 2, which are a reverse tower defense kind of experience. But yeah, this is the core. You're not prepared for war to hit your town. This kind of graffiti really sets the tone and the attitude of the survivors that we're going to be spending our time with today. There's not a lot of explanation because this is an early beta, and they're just focusing on the core gameplay. They're not really focusing on really bringing all the players up to speed on what you're doing. And honestly, this is a survival game. So survival games are usually all about emergent systems and you just learning how to make the game work for yourself. I'm looking forward to stepping into each one of these guys' shoes again. How long has the siege lasted? It's hard to say when every day is a struggle for survival. The city's crawling with snipers. Almost every night is a shelling. Phones aren't working, there's a shortage of food and meds, and many people are left homeless. Bruno and Marco have always been good friends. So when the war broke out, they decided to stick together. They met Pavel while scavenging for supplies. He used to be Pogorin's star football player. That's supposed to be the town we're at. I don't think Pogorin is a real place. But now he's just a homeless victim of war, so they teamed up, hoping for the best. So, right off the bat, I'm kind of in a sucky situation. Bruno's wounded, Pavel is starting to feel a bit unwell, and we're just gonna go right into it, see what we can do. Alright, so, let's see, Bruno's up here at the top, just sitting on the floor. Let's just have him start digging through this rubble over here. And here's Marco. Marco, we're gonna see what we can do with Marco. Oh, Bruno looks like he finished digging through the scrap heap. Looks like we got a lot of components, a little bit of clean water, and a whole lot of wood. That'll come in handy for building structures of all kinds, maybe even a bed if we're really lucky. So we're going to take all that, exit out of here, and we have, let's see, this is Marco. Marco, we want to see if Marco's not ready to leave the house yet. I want to take him upstairs, but this door looks like it's locked. And Bruno's still wounded, and here's another pile for him to dig through. Here's our store of medicine and bandages. Oh, looks like I can send Marco up here to dig through this pile. And we're going to just grab everything. At this point in the game, we just want to grab everything that we can, just because this is a house that apparently our guys have just moved into, just trying to figure out how to survive, how to just get by. That's all we know at this point in the game is that there's a war, and we're just trying to survive. There's not really too much of a story past that at this point in time, but I think that's kind of okay, because it gives us a lot of room to put our own story in there. And so we're going to see if we're picking Bruno up here, and Bruno can maybe see. I don't know what I want Bruno to do. And that's sort of my problem some of these times. I really don't know what I want everyone to do. I just want everyone to use their time wisely and make sure that we're surviving. As you can see up here, we got day 1, it's 9:10 a.m. Time's constantly passing, 17 degrees above average, so we don't have to worry about freezing to death right now. So that's always a nice thing. I'm not looking forward to when the summer turns to winter and aren't able to do anything. Oh, this guy. Oh, here, got to this pile unearthed. Got a bunch of herbs. Water, electrical component. going to need all of this. I'm not really worried about whether or not it's perfectly handy. Gotta take down this security door to get into these things over here. And Pavel's feeling sick. I'd love to get him in here, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to because this door looks like it's still locked. Oh, almost 3/4 of the way through this pile up here, and then I'm going to have him go through this cabinet, see if there's anything useful. And this door is unlocked, so we can go in here and open up this cabinet and see what's in here. We got some parts, random parts, mechanical parts. Ooh, books. Books can be uplifting. I don't know about you guys, but I like curling up with a good book, and if I didn't have any games, I would just be a very avid reader. And these guys don't have any games, so I'm pretty sure that they're maybe that's an option. Maybe at some point in the game you can make some games. I know you can make some tobacco products and distill some brews, but none of it's good quality, of course, considering nothing's good quality in this place. Everything's relative to survival. Alright, got this cabinet up here that we can dig through. Got some food, got some parts, some water. Gonna need all that. Just grab everything. Exit for now. Oh, I just remembered. I can build something. This guy's just standing here, so we're gonna have him build something for us. Maybe we can actually get a bed going, so we can get some of these guys, at least some of these guys, good night's sleep. As you can guess, I've actually gotten a chance to play this a little bit before, so I'm hopefully explaining a little bit as I go through here. I really want to bring you up to speed on just the whole thought process that goes into all of this. Alright, so it looks like we have a lot of things that we can build. We can build a radio that could be bringing some good peace of mind. I'm not sure if this is the best thing to start building, but I know that making a bed can be a really good morale thing. It'll take about an hour to build this bed, so we'll have him build that. And this guy up here isn't doing anything, so we'll see if maybe we can build a stove. A stove's a pretty good idea for any food we find. Make it a little bit more palatable than just eating it straight raw. And we got a refrigerator here. Here's where we keep our meat, our veggies, and whatever we can fit in this tin. And all this will make a lot more sense as we get through day 1 and into day 2 here. As he's saying, I hope we'll manage to keep it warm in here. Yeah, keeping things warm is important. Not the typical war game where you have to think about keeping yourself warm. Crude stove, yeah. Stove is a good thing to start with, and we're gonna make that, and we're gonna see if we can set this. See if we can set this in the kitchen. That might be a really handy place to put it. Looks like it's defaulting to that location. Looks like it's a good thing to do. Oh, looks like we got our bed going. Maybe we can make something else. I hope we can make something else. Let's see, we got we can make a chair. I don't know if a chair makes you feel better for rough times. Might improve a little bit of morale, but I'm not sure that that's going to be the best thing for me. I'm going to back off right now. I might need those parts for something else. So it looks like he finished digging through this pile and didn't find anything. Oh. See if we can get in this cabinet. Looks like the symbol means it's locked. Yep, it's locked. So we're going to need to get a lockpick somehow. I'm not sure we're going to be able to make a decent lockpick. Well, actually, alright, this guy's here. He, honestly, a chair is probably a good thing to build, so we're going to put the chair right up here. I mean, like, if I just finished working on this workbench, I'd like to, oh, it doesn't look like I can put the chair there. No. Where can I put the chair? Alright, we're going to put the chair here. Good medium place for him to stop. Pavel is a fast runner, so that might make him really good for when we have to go out scavenging tonight. I'm not a big fan of scavenging. I could take this time to fast forward to the evening, but honestly I think it might be better for me to take this time to explain a little bit of what is going on in this game here. I mean, you guys already know. I'm just trying to get these guys to survive. Tempting, but there's no time to lounge. He's not willing to sit on the bed for right now. All right, so all my guys are ready to work, but time's running out. As you can see, my clock's starting to run out. I have just an hour and a half left before it hits nighttime. At nighttime is where the brutality of being a survivor in a war-ravaged city, the theme really starts to strike home. Because I'm honest with you guys. I'm a Christian. I'm not really excited to play a game. He says I'm bleeding just a little. I'm not excited to play a game where you got to do things you don't want to do, things that compromise your morality. But if I'm going to get these guys to survive, I don't really have an in-game option to just sit there and pray and ask God to do something, which is probably what I would do in the situation. Which, these guys, I'm not going to assume where they are belief-wise, but they're not the praying sort. And so, all right, right now it's time to plan the night. I got 3 options. I got abandoned cottage, which is lots of food, and this house is like a fortress, high walls and alarms. And there's a family that used to live here, but their protection looked like they were pretty protected, but it just made them a target to be ransacked. There might be people there. I'm not sure if there's people there or not. We got a ruined villa. Supposedly people live there. We got bandages and medicine. Got shelled school, lots of food, lots of materials. I'm not sure where I want to go. I do know that it looks like there's a bunch of people might possibly be in this building, and that's really likely. If I have a lot of items and I want to trade, that's a good place to go. But I don't really have a lot of items. Let's see. Marco is a skilled scavenger, so we're going to make him our scavenger for the night. Bruno is wounded, and Pavel is slightly sick. We're going to let Pavel sleep in the bed, because those are our options. We can make him guard, scavenger, sleep, and sleep is really, really valuable to these guys. And Marco's going to be our scavenger tonight. We're about to see what that looks like. So we're going to either pick the ruined villa or abandoned cottage. And if you guys were with me, I'd really just pick whichever one you gave me. But since I can't hear what you're saying through the time displacement of the internet, so we're just going to go with the abandoned cottage and hope that no one's there. I take some items to trade if we run into somebody, but I'm not super confident that we're gonna. All right, I'm listening to reason here. I'm just gonna take a couple things just in case we can make a good trade. There's some herbs. Herbs are used for making herbal medications and roll-up cigarettes. They can be useful for. They might be useful in a trade if I have to trade. I don't want to be empty-handed. That's the really sucky situation. That's the last thing I want to have happen. So I'm going to take a little bit of water. This guy's great at scavenging, so he's got lots of slots. So we're just going to go straight for the scavenging. So we're loading on up here, getting on in. And this is still taking the adventure game language here. There's a sniper up here. I'm not sure if we got to really worry about that too much, but we got some rubble to scrounge through. And fortunately, since he's a pretty fast scavenger, he can dig through things pretty fast. Looks like we got a bunch of things here. I'm not going to be too picky. I'm just going to grab everything just in case things go sour really fast. Because with snipers and war going on, you never know what's going to happen. Alright, so we're getting into this cabinet here. All sorts of goodies. I want to take everything if I could, but I can't take everything because I don't have room, so I'm not sure I really want pistol shells. I'm just gonna drop those. Roll-up cigarette. I'm not much of a smoker. I just like my supplies. Books are always good for morale. Fertilizer is really useful. But it looks like I can fit in some of these roll-up cigarettes. I don't want to be a gun user if I can help it. Looks like we got a barricade in here, so there might be people in here. I don't see any movement or hear any movement right now. If there was movement, we would see sort of little indications of that. So we're going to peek inside, see if there's anything going on in here. Gotta be patient. Time's still going. It says it's 10 p.m. Oh, actually, I guess time is going a little slower than it seems to usually go. Right, so we got another pile of stuff here. Gonna see if we can get something. Oh, looks like we got some footsteps upstairs. Might be a good idea to get up there and see if we can make the most of it. So let's see if I can can't take much more. Looks like I got a pretty pretty decent haul. Hearing some movement up here. Fridge is always the first thing I want to scan for, so if I can get some food, I'm going to go for it. Alright, we got, ooh, there's all sorts of good materials. And I don't know, I don't need this stuff as much as I need. I don't need wood as much. I don't need this gunpowder as much as I could use some food. Let's see, I don't need this as much as I need some food, so we're going to get all the food that we can from this fridge. And, of course, the morality in all of this is questionable, considering I really don't know who's upstairs. And I got plenty of components, so I'm going to see if I can get some more of this material, as much material as this will allow me to carry. Oh, no, that's sugar. That's not material. There's, I guess that could be useful for fermentation. I don't know. That's the most valuable thing. That could make me some money or something, or at least be good for a trade. Alright, digging through this pile here. Maybe might find something else. Alright, I am running out of things to carry. Alright, looks like I'm pretty maxed out. I don't really want to find out who's here, so I'm just gonna run straight for the exit, since that's a pretty quick option. Don't want to risk things too much. And it's only 11 p.m., so it might be good that I'm getting back at a reasonable time. Might be able to get some sleep for Mr. Marco here. So Marco is back. Now, I've honestly been looking forward to this game for quite some time. Well, not quite some time. I mean, it was only announced in March, so I've only been anticipating it for about 6 months or so. But any game that really does something different with war, and really is critical of war in kind of a subversive, subtle fashion, I think is really helpful. But so yeah, tonight I had a really good haul. Look at what I got. And this guy can carry more than most of the other guys, so I'm pretty excited about that. All right, and honestly, I think that just by watching this game, you can probably get a lot of the subtlety of the themes of the subversive nature, and you know, the least subtle thing we got going on over here is kind of helped by the fact that there's most of this game is about hungry, tired dudes. Alright, I'm losing time here. I better use my resources for something beneficial. Let's see what I can build. Alright, so I got all my guys are hungry. Probably a good idea to build something, make some food of some form. I did get a lot of food, so that could be really, really handy. Alright, so radio. I want to make a radio. Let's see, I'm going to put that up here, but it doesn't seem to let me put something in that room. And I can put it up here. It seems to be a good place. I think everyone's probably going to be able to hear that up there. Alright, we're gonna grab Bruno, and see, I got my crude stove. Let's see if I can improve my crude stove before I start making some food. As you can see, automatically all the supplies that I grabbed are just kind of stocked where they need to go. I got my food in the fridge here. Alright, let's see, it looks like I need a lot more components. Let's see. So it's saying I need 20 components and 18 more pieces of components and 5 more pieces of wood to make an improved stove. Well, that sounds about right. Alright, so we're just gonna see what we can cook up here. We got I need some fuel to make some stuff. So let's see, we got Marco. Let me go make some fuel for us. Honestly, like right now, one of the things that my gamer brain is going off is I can't wait to get in here and get these additional supplies, but I gotta wait until I can find a lockpick somehow. Alright, so first thing I need to do is I need to make some fuel with the limited pieces of wood that I've got. This is my first time ever using radio, so I'm not so sure what's going to happen here. Tuning. We got some old music. That could be nice. Looks like we got a week of warm weather. That's always nice and handy. I guess they're speaking some other language that I'm supposed to be able to understand as these characters. Week of warm weather. So thermometer FM is what we got going on that station. Can't just leave it on the radio. Yeah, I guess it's just gonna, game music's just gonna naturally take itself over. Alright, so we need to make some food here. Oh no, this guy. That's one thing that I keep accidentally doing is telling the wrong guys to do something. Alright, Marco, I need one more piece of fuel. If you can make that for me. And Bruno, I need you to make some soup or something. So we're gonna make 2 bowls of food. And I know everybody's hungry right now. Bruno slept poorly. Bruno is a good cook, so it's a good thing that I got him cooking. But I'm gonna see if I can get him to sleep in the bed tonight. I'd make another bed if I had enough supplies, but looks like we can only really afford to have one guy sleep in the bed at night. And Marco says he's glad that he's been able to stay here. Okay, so it's 11:30 a.m. He's making some food, making progress. I could take this down because it's not really that beneficial. Maybe that's all. Got some supplies. Not really sure what else I want to do right now. I know Bruno is still bleeding. Not sure exactly what I want to do right now, but I do know that Bruno could eat, and I do know it's only fair to feed your cooks, you know what I mean? So we're gonna have Pavel. Pavel was the runner, and oh no, he wasn't the scavenger. That was Marco. Marco's hungry and tired. Let's see. Bruno is a good cook, so we'll see if we can make some more food here. Make some more cooked food. If I make 2, looks like I only have just enough water. So we're definitely going to need some more water when we go out scavenging tonight, so I need to make that a priority. I think it'll be a good idea to make a little bit of extra food. So we could just eat this straight out of the fridge, but I want something that actually satisfies my guy's hunger. And it's a little tricky to select my character. But, you know, this game's beyond early right now, so we're can be pretty forgiving of that sort of thing. So here's Marco. Marco, will you start heading you towards the kitchen so you can start working on getting ready for your food? I know it's a little rude to stay and stand there while you're waiting to eat, but it'd be really like good use of your position at least. So yeah, I'm just waiting for these guys to finish this up here, and I'd start talking about something right now if it wasn't for the food being done. So we're just gonna pick some of this food here, and yeah, so it looks like Marco's just tired, and Bruno still wounded, slept poorly. Pavel is still slightly sick. Now it's day 2, and I don't even think that by this point in time that there really is a solution for these guys. I'd love to be able to take care of the sickness and treat the wounded, but I can't just go out and start scavenging. I can just end the day, and that brings us to that phase. But some might complain that, you know, this isn't the most realistic simulation of being in war, but you know, to be able to provide the player with something to do, you have to create some compelling systems and keep the narrative gap as close to what your actions are as possible. And so far it seems like it's doing a pretty good job of that. So we're gonna go and look at what things we've got. We got here's our fertilizer. I wonder if I can make anything else with the fertilizer. I should check that before I go straight to ending the day. Hear the bomb blasts going off in the background. So far my guys are maintaining a pretty comfortable sense of safety. It looks like if I get a bunch more components and some lumber, I can make a moonshine still. Looks like main thing is making moonshine could probably be a useful form of currency. Pretty valuable thing for trade. At this point, actually, let me look at what our things are before we go to... I'm just about to end the day, and looks like we got a good amount of sugar. For some reason, really wanted to get a lot of sugar and fertilizer, so it looks like that would be really useful for our moonshine still. And I really don't like having a weapon part, so I'll probably see if I can use that to trade. Looks like the more books that we have, just the more naturally it makes for an uplifting community. A good library makes me happy, I know that. Alright, so it's 6:50. Don't really have much time to build anything useful or something that I really want. We could make more fuel, but I don't want to turn fuel into the wood into fuel right now. It's not a good use of time, so we're just gonna end the day and see where we're at here. Alright, we got alright, Pavel is only slightly sick, and he's still our best scavenger, so I'm gonna make him our scavenger. Bruno, he slept poorly, so we're gonna give him the bed. And Marco is tired, so we're gonna give him some sleep. But I don't think he's gonna get a very good night's sleep. Alright, so we could go back to the abandoned cottage. It says we got 33% of that sorted. We could go to the ruined villa, which has all sorts of things going on up there. Not sure how that's going. Show up school. There's some people who are willing to trade, so we got a whole lot of items. I'm going to take Pavel and see if we can just make a good trade. Maybe get a couple other good things going on there. Actually, I don't want to take food. Food's too valuable to us right now. I'm going to take all the sugar, because sugar makes people happy, right? And we got some fertilizer, and I don't want weapon parts. I don't want to have to hurt anybody. I'm not working in that direction. Let's see, we could take a random bunch of parts, and hopefully we don't really need to trade too much else. Backpack. That looks like a good situation, so we're going to start our scavenging session now. But yeah, like I said, this game, man, this could be a little pretty comparable actually to Valiant Hearts, which also came out this year. It's by far one of the games that I look forward to the most. Both deal fairly critically with the subject of war, but Valiant Hearts has definitely much more of a comical tone that sometimes subverts the serious nature of the topic, which was World War I, which this doesn't follow as specific a war, but I think it's meant to really try to breed a sense of familiarity with the Kosovo conflict of the late 90s, and I think that there's some very clear suggestions that we're dealing with something at least vaguely Eastern European, which is known to deal with some pretty heavy war situations. Actually, I'm remembering that 11-Bit Studios said that this was very much inspired by a letter that was written by someone who went through the Kosovo conflict in the 1996-1997 time period. Alright, remember, we're here to protect people, not harm them. So it looks like these guys have some pretty good motivations, but I'm not looking forward to them finding out that I'm here unless they want to trade. I think trading might be a really nice option. Uh-oh. Looks like, dude sees me. Alright, I'm not going to be able to, I don't want to run away. Stop, the school is held by our civic self-defense group. You're not allowed to enter. That's fine. I'm not too worried about entering, I guess. I knew that there's going to be people here, so let's see. What do you got? He got some water. I could really use some water. I definitely want some water. He's got some herbs, which is quite common. So this is our trading system we got here, and I do not need all this sugar. So I'm just going to give him a crap ton of sugar. Give him some of my gun parts, because I don't want to be I prefer to play games pacifistically, if that's at all possible. It's one of the things that I liked about Valiant Hearts when it was at its best, and really bothered me about it when it started to veer towards its worst. When you had played as the Freddy character in Valiant Hearts and started blowing things up. You didn't shoot anybody with a personal firearm, but I get the impression that I'm probably able to make some personal firearms in this game if I get desperate. Alright, so it doesn't look like he's got too many things other than he's got some pretty full-size weapons, which would be a valuable trade. But it looks like he's got some components and some food. I need bandages and I need medicine. And it says, look, you sure you're interested? You're going to have to show me a lot in exchange. See what he wants for it. It doesn't look like he's excited by this trade at all. Let's see if what I gotta do to get some of this. Won't do. Try harder. Looks like this is gonna cost me a lot. I would like some bandages too, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to make this a trade. I'm willing to give up everything I got to make my guys well. So let's see if this will work. Won't do. Still won't do. Tell you what, bandages and medicine, it's the most precious things we can get. Probably trade for a shotgun for less. Alright, I definitely still do know I want to trade this. Remove bandages. Start removing. Sugar. Still won't do. Alright, looks like this is the trade that's going to work for him. And the bartering has a very tense level of tension. It's redundant, but you know, he's got a good amount of difficulty on each front. You just feel the pressure of trying to survive on all fronts. Truth be told, this could probably be easily compared systemically to a lot of other good survival games out there along the lines of The Forest and Don't Starve. Don't Starve was one of my favorite games of last year. You can read about it on GameChurch. Looks like that's all I'm going to be able to do tonight, so we're just going to go to run to the exit. I don't want to encroach on their territory and make them feel too uncomfortable, sully any future trades. So we're loading up our day 3 here. And I'd love to say that there's so much more to this game, and I'm sure that your interest is either peaked or starting to wane at this point in time. And if it's peaked, hopefully I'll be able to make another episode, and we'll be able to look at a little bit more of what goes on in the minds and hearts of these guys. And actually, you know what? You got the medicines. He hopes they'll help. So we're just going to see if we can heal our sick dude over here. Because that's really what it's all about, is trying to take care of our men who's slightly wounded. Marco, actually, I guess the guy who's sick was the one who went on the run. Pavel, yeah, slightly sick. So we're going to have him move up here and take our medicine. But as you can see, our guys are always coming down with some sort of ailment. Always struggling. Oh, it looks like there's an update for day 3, and Pavel's got some more feedback from the shelling, sniper fire, lack of supplies, and so you want to hide away, sit down and cry. We can't let them crush our spirit. We have to show them they can't take away our dignity. It's difficult here, but you know how we did it on our street. See, that's what Pavel's got to say. Marco and Bruno don't really have anything to say at this time. But yeah, I'm gonna pause there for the moment, and I can kind of just pause and talk to you guys for a moment, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned to GameChurch. Stay tuned to what our coverage for this war of mine. This is easily going to be one of the best games of the year. We don't have a official release date at this time, but it is to be announced 2014. So I wouldn't be too surprised if it gets pushed back to next year, because as you can see, there's still a bunch of rough components. So thanks for tuning in, guys.